and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and this is another episode of Case Club, where we look at a bunch of updates in a couple of cases. So, on today's lineup, we are going to be looking at Pieper Lewis's case, the Wagner Trial, a missing 4-year-old boy by the name of Lucian, Robert Dawson, that case, and then also some good news that Jill Sidebotham, a missing person we've covered before, has been found safe. So we're going to go into the details of that. If you are brand new here, welcome to the Grizzly community. I am South African living in the Netherlands, and it's really nice to have you here. I hope that you will subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm next going live or uploading a video or a short or something like that. And thank you again for being here. I hope you can all hear me. I would assume you can. Otherwise, you would tell me you can't hear a thing. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for being here. Patrons, members, if you see someone's name highlighted with a little neon bear, it's because they're members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Patrons, I put something out there for you today. I hope you saw it, like a collection of photos that I've explained as well. So, okay. Are we ready to get into the cases? All right, that's what we love to hear. Says, sorry, these comments are just flying right by. Wait, sorry, I missed that one. Hold on. There we go. Lorraine said, that's what we love to hear. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put this on. Okay. So we're going to look at this case. I typed in there Sarge Hubbard Park. You can see I've highlighted it because I'm like, where is that exactly? So we'll look at it. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. If you have no idea what Case Club is, and this is your first time, we do this relatively often, sometimes once a week or so, sometimes more. And it's in cases we've already deep dived, or if it's ones where we just want to put them all together, you know, where it's like just new information and we just want to start deep diving it. So that's what we do here. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, so family staying 24/7 at Sarge Hubbard Park Playground until 4-year-old Lucian Munguia is found. I think that's how you say that. Also, to anyone, thank you for joining membership, Cement Shoes. Anyone joining membership, please check out the membership, the members only playlist. And if there's any super stickers or super chats or things like that, I'm going to read those out or look at them at the end, if that's all right, because I know it's annoying for replay watchers to like interrupt the stream the whole time. So I'm going to try my best not to do that, but just know I really, really appreciate your support of the channel. All right, so let's look at this. So they say Yakima. Sounds like a Japanese word, huh? Yakima. Washington. His name is Lucian Munguia, and he's a 4-year-old boy with long, beautiful hair who plays and laughs. Let's just zoom in for you. You can see who plays and laughs, loves fish, and enjoys playing with his big brother. He's also been missing for more than 72 hours. If you have him, and now it's, like day 5, I think today was. If you have him, just drop him off where he's going to be found and just let him go. Lucian's mother, Sandra Munguia, told KAPP-KVEW on Tuesday. He wants to come home. My 2-year-old daughter misses him. My 6-year-old misses him. We miss him. So what I'm going to do is play this video so that we can see what's going on in this case.
Are in for Madeline Hagen tonight. Now, nearly 72 hours since that 4-year-old went missing out of Yakima.
I'm just checking you guys can hear that. You can hear it, right? If you don't hear it, let me know.
There is still no sign of him.
And in a story you'll only see here on Cap KView, Emily Goodell spoke to the parents about their little boy and how you can help bring him home.
His name is Lucian Munguia, a 4-year-old boy who plays and laughs and loves fish.
Oh no, that picture's so cute. Munguia. Lucian Munguia.
Now he's gone.
We're Lucian's parents. I'm his mom and this is his dad. We're just wanting Lucian to come home.
Sandra Munguia says it started with a trip Saturday evening to Sarge Hubbard Park. Lucian and his 6-year-old brother wanted to play.
They run down the hill a lot. That's their favorite thing to do, is run up and roll down.
And their 2-year-old daughter needed a diaper change, but Dad didn't go far.
He was in the car that was parked right in front of the toys where they were. And it was like, he's the fastest diaper changer in the world, you know, like, and That's all it takes is a blink of an eye.
Investigators say they believe Lucian left the playground alone, headed south and east. They don't suspect foul play, but the family says they don't think he's hiding.
He doesn't even get the concept of hide and seek.
He comes out before you find him.
He won't even go hide. He'll follow.
Shame. This is such a terrible case. I mean, the dad went to change his little sister's diaper, and then when he turned around, Lucian was gone and hasn't been seen since. Law enforcement's even been checking that there's a body of water close to this park, which we'll look at now on the maps right after this clip. But man, I hope they find him.
Follow my son to go play hide and seek, and then he gives away my son.
Lucian has autism, but he isn't nonverbal.
His English is broken up. It's not full sentences, but he still talks. His name's Lucian. We call him Shushi. We call him Shushinato. Little.
Right now, family members need volunteers to help search for Lucian.
You guys are welcome to come out, come and meet with us. Someone in our family will meet with you.
So you can see the number there, 509-574-2500. If you could contact the Sheriff's Department in Yakima if you have any information, if you see Lucian. There's also lots of pictures of him available on Twitter, on social media. Oh man, I'm so worried for this little boy.
By the picnic tables.
Up by the toys.
By the toy area.
Park in the gravel down there by the sheriff's, or up here by the toys.
You can also pick up flyers to put up around town.
Print Guys is actually helping us a lot on this. They're donating a lot of flyers every day.
And if you see something, say something immediately.
Not 2 hours later, just take the second to drop what you're doing and call 911. If you have him, just drop him off where he's gonna be found and just let him go. He wants to come home. My 2-year-old daughter misses him. My 6-year-old misses him. We miss him.
In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Cap KVU, local news.
Okay, so we can see that. And so now if we just look on the map for a second here, I typed in Sarge Hubbard Park, Yakima, WA. So I'm just going to zoom out so that I could also just get my bearings here. Oh, okay. Oh, Washington, Seattle's over here. Okay, for you guys in the USA, you're going to know exactly, where I'm at. I'm just having a look for those of us there's an international audience here on Grizzly True Crime. So if you guys didn't know, it's all the way on the west coast of the United States of America. So the other Washington, not Washington, D.C., the other one. So, and Yakima. So if we, Yakima Indian Reservation, they say here. West Valley. Okay, here's West Valley, and we're zooming in. And if we keep going, I see a lot of people are tagging AWP in this case because there's these two bodies of water here. But is it just me, or doesn't AWP only look, when there's a car involved, a vehicle or a boat or something like that? Not? Either way, I mean, if they can help, that would be amazing. But there's a little body of water here, and there's this Buchanan Lake over here as well, and this Yakima River, which is quite concerning. I'm not mentioning it to speculate something very sinister on my own here. Law enforcement's been looking, in the water as well. So, that's pretty scary. Good afternoon, Jessica. Washington State, y'all just recently moved from Seattle. Okay, yeah, Washington State, exactly. I don't know, is that true? I heard for some reason autistic children are drawn to water. I sure hope he's safe. I guess a lot of children, most children, right, are drawn to water. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just like, yeah. I know when I was a kid, I'm like, ooh, water is so fun, right? Yeah, I think AWP only does cars, I think, because that's, what they use their sonar and everything for. So I'm guessing so. It's not bad to tag them. I mean, tag them, maybe they could retweet it or something like that. That would be amazing. But yeah. So this is, let's see where this park area is. There it says Sarge Hubbard Park. So is it like literally this? Shame. What a nice little area. And so like they would just park there, quickly diaper change, and then he's gone. Oh no. And like so quickly, like gone. They didn't even see him, in the water, around the water. They didn't he's just disappeared, which is very, very scary to think of all those, possibilities. I wonder where he's at. Okay, thank you. Stephanie says, AWP always says, please only contact when a vehicle in water is involved. The good thing is, on social media, people are tagging them, which what I'm saying could be useful if they just retweet it. It could help get Lucian some more media coverage, right? Yeah, divers could go in. Okay. Thank you again all for being here. If you like the way that I cover true crime, please make sure you hit the thumbs up. You could just exit the chat for a second. Hit the thumbs up. It really helps. Share it to Twitter. And if you wouldn't mind using the hashtag Lucian, Lucian. I see they're not using his surname right now because it's a very unique name, right? Lucian. So they're just using hashtag Lucian for now, from what I can see on social media. The reason I pay attention to what type of hashtags they're using right now is so that we can try to categorize it all together to get the most coverage all in one place, right? That's scary, Linda, right? Linda Kramer says anyone could have grabbed him too. Wonder if there are cameras around. Well, if you live in the area and there are cameras around, or if you saw anything, please contact law enforcement. All right. So here Rose says day 5 in the search for Lucian. I hope they are able to bring him home today. Heartbreaking for his parents and siblings. They are out searching everywhere today. So here's a picture of him. Shame. Wow. Okay. So if you're on Twitter, make sure you follow me as well at Grizzly Gisela. And please use the hashtag Lucian. You can either share this video that that I'm making right now for you, or just go on there, retweet all this stuff, right? So you just like it and retweet it. Even if you haven't got Twitter, I would suggest getting it. It really, really helps. It ranks highly SEO wise, to get coverage. So if we do this, for instance, let's retweet this one again. Front of shirt looks like this. My son has the same shirt. It's a pajama top. Okay. That's much better. I couldn't find. Okay, so this is, I'm thinking this is what he was last seen wearing, right? Ah, okay. Donna Adams says AWP has searched for another little boy with no vehicle. Okay, well, tag away and maybe they'll retweet it or get involved. We just don't know. Wow. The PD, Yakima PD is requesting help from the public. They would love to see some photos or videos from Saturday. See, they are asking for that, so that's good. Between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. This might help them figure out what direction Lucian went in or if foul play was involved. Hashtag missing child Lucian. Okay. So that is that story, which is very sad. And I really hope they find him soon. Okay, now what I want to show you. Oh, yes, it's over here. Okay. Let's look at the Wagner trial. I hope you've watched my video. Sorry, I know I'm very small in the corner here. Let's take this off for a second. I hope you watched my video called The Pike County Massacre. That was one of those days where I made a full-on presentation, and right before I went live, the presentation just vanished from the software I was using. So it's not like you could back it up either. It was like I was busy making it and it was just like gone. Anyway, but I pulled it together. All the details are there. A family of 4, mom, dad, 2 sons, conspired to kill a family of 8. And actually did so. And the details are absolutely bizarre. So the trial has just started, the Wagner trial. If you see it on Court TV or Law and Crime Network or things like that, that is what is going on. I am monitoring it, but I do think I need a little white flag, a red flag sometimes. I need a little white flag because I surrender, because I just don't have the attention span to sit for 8 hours watching a trial. I'm a busybody. I'm always like this. Ooh, so that's it's really hard. And so I am monitoring the trial, but to break it down in bullet points every day, yeah, that's really hard. But I would like to recommend a channel called Pretty Lies and Alibis. And they are covering daily, it seems like daily. They're covering it every day to show us what's the summary of what happened today and what are the updates and what's going on there. And so go check that out. I would highly recommend it. I watched the episode. I'm like, damn, from me watching day one, the opening statements and the way that they were able to summarize it was really good. Because my word, the prosecutor's opening statements, if we ever want to play a drinking game, just use that video, because that lady says and a million times. So if we had to say, hey, let's take a sip every time she says and whoo, no, we're not going to make it, guys. We're not going to make it. Katie says, if you cover the family tree, please make it elementary because it is intense. It is so intense. This case is so intense, and there's so much going on in it that I can do nothing more than make it elementary at this point. Don't worry. So what I'm doing is looking at this. I don't even know how to say that. Is it? I don't know. Scioto valleyguardian.com. Oh man, they're summarizing it so nicely for us here. So day one, what you need to know about the first day of the Roden homicide trial. Now, the reason I'm going to read this to you, day 1 and 2, is because day 1 was, of course, the opening statements, and like, damn, like the things we learned. Oh my word, it was very hectic. Yeah, and Linda said, I couldn't sit and watch a trial either. I always feel like, yes, I'm so excited for trials. I can do this. And then I just have to admit, I'm too hyperactive for it. I don't have the attention span to sit there for as long as they go on. I'm like, and then what? Okay, is anyone being sentenced yet? So I usually look at like at least the opening statements, monitor it as it goes along over the weeks. It's going to be like 6 weeks long. And then we look at the closing statements, and then we see the verdict. Ooh, what's going to happen, So yes, it just got here. Calcification just got here. We are looking at the Wagner case, the Wagner trial, as part of Case Club. I've done a full episode on what exactly went down here from what we knew. But man, there's so many more details in what they're releasing here. So let me make myself small again. I hope you don't mind. So I can show you this. Let's zoom in again. And please stick around. Even if you, I don't know, if you're cooking dinner or wait, what time is it for you? I made sushi for dinner. It was lovely. So whatever you're doing, stick around, because I would love for you to hear Pieper Lewis's story as well. That was an interesting one that's just taken place as well. Robert Dawson is a case we're going to look at. A man who killed his wife in Fiji on their honeymoon. Like, what? And then the happy news of Jill Sidebotham and her baby being found safe, even though the case is still very interesting, right? Katie says G would be doodling during court. Oh yeah. I was already doodling just during a 40-minute episode on YouTube, So they say Monday marked the first official day with opening statements in the trial of George W. Wagner IV, who faces 8 counts of murder in Waverly, Ohio. Wagner, 30, faces the death penalty after he was charged in Pike County in the 2016 slayings of the Roden family near Piketon in southern Ohio. This is Ohio's largest homicide case ever, right? A 12-person jury with 6 alternates was selected last week in county court, about 65 miles, 105 kilometers. Nice. They put in kilometers for us that don't use the miles. South of Columbus. Authorities say the shootings of 7 adults and a teenage boy, 8 people, stemmed from a dispute. This is motive now. Stemmed from a dispute over custody of a child that George Wagner's brother, Jake Wagner, had with Hannah Roden, one of the victims. George Wagner's parents and brother were also charged. The Wagners spent months planning the killings, motivated by the custody dispute. Can you believe it? A family of 4, mom, dad, 2 sons, all adults, conspiring to murder an entire family because Jake had once dated Hannah and got her pregnant, and he wanted full custody of the child. That's what this was all about. This case is so crazy. On Monday, the public and the jury heard opening statements from the state, who went for 5 hours, and from the defense, who went for less than 45 minutes. Wow. Now, here's the summary, which I love how they do this. Dad was the target. Okay, prosecutors said that the intended target was Chris Roden Sr., who was involved in drug deals with Billy Wagner. Now, this is where, don't worry, I'm also like, wait, what? It gets layered. Gary Roden was killed simply because he was present, and the rest of the family was murdered because they knew things. All of the victims, except for 3, Dana, Gary, and Chris Sr. If you want pictures of all these victims and all the people involved, please check out my episode called Pike County Massacre. They were killed in their sleep, according to the state. The state said that the idea to kill Hannah came from Billy Wagner, and that Jake initially said no, but was encouraged by his parents. Originally, they were going to kill Hannah and make it look like her boyfriend named Corey did it, the state said. Yeah, it's sorry, I'm just looking at messages here. Serenity now says, sounds like a Lifetime movie, right? Thank you, Fairy Raven. I've just watched your videos on these killings. What a messed up family. Like, so messed up. Okay, the killings all happened in one night and across 4 properties, you guys. The state claimed that Billy Wagner left his phone at Angela Wagner's house the night of the murders and had a meeting planned with Chris Sr. to talk about a big drug deal out west that was upwards of $30,000 in marijuana. The two grew pot together and sold it. When Billy arrived the night of the killings to talk to Chris Sr., Billy had a plan to kill Chris and to cover his own tracks. Billy asked Chris to call Billy's cell phone, claiming he'd lost it. Angela allegedly answered the phone when it rang because Billy left it at home. The purpose of this was so cell phone towers would place Billy's phone at Angela's house and not at the murder scene, giving him an alibi during the time of the killings. Are you guys following? Because damn. And if you hear my stomach growling, I'm sorry. It's busy saying thank you for the sushi. Just like so loud right now. Sorry. Okay, so Hannah was pregnant at 15. Now, this was the entire motive, was the custody battle over Hannah's child, okay? Lead prosecutor Angela Canepa said that murder victim Hannah Roden was pregnant at age 15 with Jake Wagner's baby, while Jake was 20 years old. 15, 20. Before the child was even born, the two named the baby Sophia. It would be this child that would become the center of the murder plot, the state alleged. Before Sophia was born, Jake told Hannah he would take the baby by force and that he wanted sole custody. For some odd reason, the state said that Angela and Jake Wagner both wanted Sophia to call Angela mom when she was actually her grandmother. This is a very messed up family. Heidi says we can't hear it. I've got my earphones on and I can hear it. So, okay, I'm glad you can't. Okay. Oh, my word. And again, if you feel lost, don't worry. Me too half the time with the story. I'm like, and then what happened? Okay. So don't feel overwhelmed. It is a very overwhelming case, okay? So, great. The grandmother wants Sophia to call her mom. They're really, this Wagner family is like, that child is ours. Okay. After several fights, including ones that were physical, Hannah broke up with Jake in 2015. Hannah told a family member in a social media message that the Wagners would have to kill me first before handing over custody. The state said Angela Wagner hacked into Hannah's social media and saw this message. And unfortunately, yeah, the Wagners took it literally. The grandmother reminds me of the Godfather movie, says Stefan. I agree, right? Why wasn't Jake arrested for... I don't know. Bella says, only heard about this case through you, Gisela. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, damn. I hope between the little bit of coverage I do on it as I'm following along, and then Pretty Liars and Alibis, because they're doing an excellent job. Please go and subscribe to them. Go check out their coverage of this case, because they've got a friend who's literally there in court, right? Who's a friend of ours here too, right? We've got Dr. Dude there. So, wow, the scenes. They were, okay, trigger warning. We don't know how graphic they're going to get here. Okay. Janet Murphy says, I can hear Mr. Ballin telling the story. Can you also hear Mike from that chapter telling the story? Because I can. I totally can. Okay, here we go. The scenes. There were 4 murder scenes. At the first one, Chris Sr. and Gary were found by a family member who went next door to Frankie's house to summon help. Once she got next door, she was met by a 3-year-old boy who was locked inside the house. The boy unlocked the door for the relative and told them, Daddy has a lot of blood. Oh my word, that is so scary. Inside, the state said that Frankie and Hannah Gilly, who were killed in bed while they slept, between them was a newborn baby unharmed, and also left to live was the 3-year-old toddler. At another scene, Dana Roden was found by her brother with a pillow over her head. The state said Jake Wagner shot Dana, who was playing with her on her cell phone in bed after a double shift at work. After Jake shot her, he went and killed Hannah and Chris Jr. in their beds. Hannah woke up and saw Jake standing in the doorway but the state said she did not realize it was him, and that's when Jake opened fire and killed her. She was now this is very trigger warning. Okay, guys, seriously, this gets really bad. This is now the third time I'm looking at it today, and I'm like, oh no. I'm still getting anxious about it. Oh, my word. Okay, wait. She was nursing a newborn baby by another man. The man was not there, but the baby was in bed with its mother. Jake allegedly repositioned Hannah's dead body in bed so the infant could continue to nurse even after the killings. The baby was not harmed. Are you getting that? Like they literally went in there and shot this mother while she was breastfeeding, and then after shooting her and murdering her, reposition the baby so the baby can continue breastfeeding? What? I just can't. No. I don't have the words. Jake then went back into Dana's room and shot her several more times and placed a pillow over her head. He then killed Chris Jr. later. Later, the Wagners traveled to Kenneth Roden's camper and killed him because he would know. And it was the Wagners who carried out these acts. So that was just like, oh, well, he'd know it's us, so let's kill him too. He was shot in the eye while he slept. I know, you guys. You guys. Okay, for all of you who are new to my channel, like, oh my word, why is she giggling? 1, shock. 2, anxiety. Okay? That's why. I'm not giggling because it's funny. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm totally shocked and overwhelmed. It's too much. This is like, you can't make this stuff up. Okay, so I see all your comments. I see you agree with me, right? The shell casings. Shell casings were found at the scene of the crimes where the bodies were found, which matched shell casings that were found in the driveway of the Wagners. According to the state, the casings at the Wagners had been used for target practice, and just like fingerprints, gun barrels, and firing pins will leave one-of-a-kind traces on the shells. The gun in question was used to kill Chris Jr., Hannah, and Dana, the state said. So here you can see George Wagner IV. The guns used to kill the rodents were placed in buckets of concrete. Listen to this family. Just listen to how much they planned. Like you won't even believe when you read and hear how much they actually planned. It's crazy. So the guns were placed in buckets of concrete and then gifted to a family member of the Wagners on Father's Day as boat anchors. Did you hear that? What? Unbeknownst to the family member that the anchors contained murder weapons. The anchors would later be cut from a rope on the boat and dropped in a pond. Jake Wagner would later confess to the state that the concrete anchors were at the bottom of the pond, and using a search warrant, the state found the blocks in the water, chipped away the material, and found the murder weapons inside. So Jake, who this whole thing was about his child that he had with Hannah, he snitched on his whole family so that he could get life imprisonment and not the death sentence, from what I understand. Thank you, Karen. Understand you're giggling? Love, Gisela. Thank you. Yeah, definitely don't giggle because it's funny. I have high levels of anxiety, and I find these cases very shocking, and sometimes one might giggle. When I was doing my final flying, when I was a pilot, and I did my final test before, being unleashed on the world, yeah, I giggle too. I giggle when I'm very, very anxious. Okay, Walmart shoes. The Wagners planned the murder so much in advance that they bought murder shoes from Walmart to wear for the purpose of the crimes and would dispose of them later. Found at the scene of one of the crimes was a bloody shoe print. The print was traced back to a shoe that was only sold at Walmart. Later, a search warrant on the storage trailer owned by the Wagners would uncover a Walmart receipt. The receipt showed the purchase of shoes, and when detectives went to Walmart and looked at the security camera footage from the timestamp on the receipt, they saw Angela Wagner buying the shoes. This grandmother, it's kind of reminding me of, I don't even want to actually compare that. I can't compare that. Nope, not going to make the comparison. I think some of you will think what I'm thinking. Anyway, it's just like this grandmother is just like, wow, very involved in planning and helping out to cover tracks. The very shoes, so the mother, but grandmother of Sophia, that's what I mean. Okay, the very shoes that matched the bloody prints at the murder scenes. Listening devices. We're almost done with this, okay? But I'm sure you find it interesting, right? I find this very interesting. Okay, so only one people shot or killed all these victims, and the rest of the family members helped clean. Apparently, at least 2 of the family members did the killings, but a lot of them, yeah, there's 4 of these family members. 2 have already pleaded guilty, so they can get life imprisonment. So it would be the Wagner dad and the one son that's still, they're having the trial now. This is now George Wagner, the fourth trial, the one son, and he's facing capital punishment. And then I think later will be the father's trial, if I'm remembering this all correctly. Oh, my word. Okay, so then the state said they placed listening devices using warrants inside the vehicles driven by the Wagners, including their personal cars and a semi-truck driven by Jake and George. The state said they picked up some conversation, but very minimal because the family was always on high alert that they were being listened to. Norman Reedus. Angela Canepa said that Jake Wagner idolized Hollywood actor Norma Reedus, and that Jake cut and dyed his hair to look like the actor. Jake also carried out the murders like scenes from the movie. Have you seen this movie, you guys, from the Boondock Saints? They literally watched a clip of the Boondock Saints before carrying out all these murders. He was like he would thought of himself as Norma Reedus, the character that he played as a character in the Boondock Saints and the television show The Walking Dead. So much so that the state said evidence on Jake Wagner's cell phone shows, there we go, he watched a murder scene from the Saints movie before going to commit the homicides, in which two brothers kill others, a sign that George Wagner and Jake Wagner worked together as brothers to emulate the movie. Nightmares. Billy and Angela Wagner were talking one night after the murders when Billy told Angela that their son George was having nightmares about the murders. Angela replied, "I don't know why he's having nightmares. He didn't kill anybody," the state said. This allegedly came from Angela during a confession. And then the defense, that was now the prosecutor's opening statements summarized. Defense opening statements, they said Jake will say. The defense told jurors that Jake will testify that his brother George did not shoot and kill anyone and that the murders were not George's idea and that George did not help plan them either. So this guy's going to snitch, but then also say, don't worry, I'm snitching, but it's all me. But yet he's getting a lesser sentence unless they mess up testifying against their family members. If they mess up, then I think, from what I understand, the death sentence is back on the table. Yeah. If you've watched the movie, you'll realize how scary it is. Now, I wish I could show you that movie clip, but really, YouTube is so strict on that, on showing movie clips. So just look at the Boondock Saints. I watched that movie when I was like a teenager, I think. Have a look at the clip, and then you'll see why Bella agrees it's scary. What to consider? The defense said they are asking the jury to consider several things. Jake's testimony that says his brother did not kill anyone, that Jake and Angela received plea deals and will say anything to save themselves, that George was the only member of the family who did not have a motive to kill anyone, and how different George is from his family. Why it happened. Defense attorney Richard Nash said that Angela's motive was that she believed Sophia was being, I don't want to say that word. I have to say it just for context. I can't make up a word now. Molested by the Roden family. Jake's motive was jealousy, control, and custody of his daughter, and Billy's motive was drugs. This means George had no motive, and that's why he did not kill anyone, the defense said. Jake did it all. Nash closed out his 45-minute opening statement by saying that evidence will show Jake Wagner killed all 8 people. Okay. So evidence is still going to show. And that George Wagner should not be charged with murder or face the death penalty or life in prison. Imagine that, oh my word, if he gets none of those. The trial will resume on Tuesday, 9 a.m. So already today was day 3. It started on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's already day 3 today. Sue says, I get all my violence on Grizzly True Crime. No movies for me. Oh my word. Mama Bird G says, hello, y'all. Oh my word, that picture is adorable. I'm so glad you're covering this. I live a couple counties away from where this happened. It was horrific. Right? Very interesting. JDR says, maybe that's what Scott Peterson did with his weapon of choice. You never know. I've seen the film a few times. Me too, but I need to check it out again. You know? I need to check it out again. So, yes, there's a very good summary here as well. I will make sure to link it in the pinned comments afterwards, okay, once the live stream ends, because there's a whole thing of day 2 as well. Day 2, which I don't know if do you want me to, we can scroll. Do you want me to read it? It might take a while. I think I must. Case Club, we try to look at many cases, but let's just have a quick, I just want to quickly scroll to see how much. Yeah, this is a lot of reading. This will take forever. This will take another half an hour, right? Which I don't mind, but I would rather pin it in the comments. I just want to see, let's see some pictures that they've got going on here. Prosecutor showed pictures of the 4 crime scenes on Tuesday. Shown here is the home of Frankie Roden and Hannah Gilly. Oh my goodness. Okay. How do we... Well, we can't click on it much. So there you go. Ooh. All right. Making me nervous here. Woo. Oh no, you guys. Okay, whoa. It's pretty graphic. Trigger warning. Are you ready? Oh my goodness. That is so hectic. Crime scene photos were shown in the courtroom. Shown here is the scene inside Chris Roden Sr.'s house where he and Gary Roden were found. Wow. Oh my word. Inside the home of Chris Roden Sr., Bobby Joe Manley testified that the bodies had been dragged from the living room to the back bedroom. That house looks scary like that with, oh, this is like really a horror scene. Right? So if you look, I don't know, sorry, you saying you post that trial page. I want to see it. Do you mean Court TV or Law and Crime Network, or do you mean this? Because here you can see what it is here on top, but I will pin it in the comments afterwards so you can see it easily. Whoa. I think the most shocking detail for me is that newborn baby and what they did. So here's George Wagner, the 4th. Look at him. Yeah, movie horror. It's an absolute horror. This case is crazy. I'm just scrolling down to see what else we can see. Prosecutor showed pictures of the 4 crime scenes, the home of Chris Roden Sr. It is truly, yes, Bella, Grizzly. Different, yeah, Grisly. Oh, my word. Okay, so that's that. Goodness. So I'm just going to remove that for a second. Wow. Let's just reset the zoom. Chirping Bird says I'm half an hour behind watching from the beginning. Nice. Put it on, I hope I don't talk too fast, but 1.25 or 1.5 speed, right? Oh, yes. I will link that as well. On Court TV and the Law and Crime Network, I see they're covering the trial live. So you can check that out. All right. So I'm just going to use my little list that I've got here. Thank you to the person who sent me this. You know who you are. I love it. I use it all the time. There's a lot of things that you guys sent me when I still had my PO box that I still like dig through and love. I love it so much. So thank you. Okay, so Wagner Trial. Now let's look at, it's almost like, wow, what do we look at next, right? It's all horrendous. Dana says, what happened in this case? Not aware of it. So I have a video called Pike County Massacre, which I hope you'll check out. I'll make sure to link that as well. I'm not sure if it's linked right now in my description box. But if you just search my channel, Pike County Massacre, I think there's even a playlist for it. Go check it out because that explains an overview of what happened here. And then today we're just recapping what's happened on day 1 of the trial. And of course, day 2 and 3. Day 3 is taking place today. So yes, it's cute, right? It says, a latte to do. You guys send me the coolest things. Look at this one. Very important things. So thank you. All right. So now I'm trying to decide which one to look at next because, oh, goodness. Let's look at this one. Let's go right into this one. Okay. Doodleback Lori says, I'm on TikTok, so nothing shocks me anymore. I know, right? TikTok is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot on YouTube on this case. Yes, and the trial is happening for about 6 weeks. Every day. So, I mean, that's as long as Johnny Depp's trial went on. Right? Oh, tea and wildflowers. I'm all about notepads. Me too. Okay. Are we ready to look at this one? Okay. Robert Dawson, accused of killing wife on Fiji honeymoon, ordered, held with no bail. Thank goodness. I've been monitoring this one as well. So here, let's just make sure it doesn't play the sound now. Sometimes I get a fright when it just like suddenly starts playing this. Stop it. Okay. Close it. All right. Bradley Dawson, the Tennessee newlywed, accused of killing his bride on their Fiji honeymoon, returned to court Tuesday for a bail hearing. Lautoka High Court Judge Riaz Hamza ordered him held with no bail. The judge also rejected Dawson's 2 bail sponsors, who are locals that live in Fiji, because they did not provide any details on how they know Dawson. Dawson, 38, has pleaded not guilty to the alleged murder of Christy Chen Dawson, 39, who Fiji police say was found brutally beaten to death in her room at the exclusive Turtle Island Resort on July 9th. He arrived handcuffed in court, wearing blue shorts, flip-flops, and a patterned tropical shirt Tuesday, or early Wednesday local time. Speaking in the... Now, I don't want to butcher that. I don't know how to say that. Aitakai? Oh, dear. In the local language, Dawson answered shouted questions outside the courthouse, telling reporters good morning and that he was doing well. So here you can see him on honeymoon in Fiji. I know, right? Rochelle says, boy, what a honeymoon. Why even get married? I know, right? And here they say, at the time of his arrest, police found him with more than $1,000 cash in his wallet, his passport, driver's license, and credit cards belonging to both himself and his deceased wife. Prosecutors said Chen suffered... Sorry again for all the trigger warnings. It's pretty graphic today. Prosecutors said Chen suffered a brain bleed on July 9th and confirmed in court the claims of Chen's family attorney, who previously said she died of severe traumatic head injuries and multiple traumatic injuries to her body. Dawson has pleaded not guilty, and his defense attorney, Iqbal Khan, is contesting unsigned statements Dawson made to police, known in Fiji as a caution interview, in which he allegedly confessed to killing Chen. After the interview, he declined to sign the document and, through his attorney, has maintained that he is innocent. Wow. I know, right? Doing well. He's like, hey there, I'm doing well. Wow. All right. Judge Riaz Hamza was expected to rule on the bail application, and another hearing was already set for September 26th as prosecutors and the defense wrangle over the unsigned caution interview. But there he is again. Bradley Dawson. Prosecutor Alvin Singh and attorneys for Chen's family had opposed bail for Dawson, who they argued is indeed a flight risk after he allegedly ditched his GPS watch and phone at the resort and fled with just his wallet and passport in the hours after Chen's brutal beating death. Khan said the state is already in possession of Dawson's passport, that he consented to surrendering it, and that he has no other passports or travel documents. The medical examiner found multiple blunt force injuries around her head and face. Ronald Gordon, her family's lawyer, previously told Fox News Digital. When her parents visited her in the morgue, he added her mother was inconsolable because of the injuries. Oh my goodness. According to authorities, a woman who was staying at Turtle Island at the same time as the couple said Dawson and his wife appeared happy the evening of the alleged fight. The vacationer said she later heard loud banging sounds from the couple's room, according to the police report. Dawson and Chen married in February after just a few months of dating and moved into a new home in Memphis. But Gordon said Dawson had previously traveled to Fiji with an ex-wife just 2 years ago. Now, if you're like me, I'm wondering now what happened to the ex-wife? Is the ex-wife okay? Probably, otherwise we'd know it, right? But what? Staying at Turtle Island. This is terrible. And it sounds very much like a DV relationship, huh? We can sort of see some patterns there, right? Terrible. Wow. Look at this resort. Oh, my word. Turtle Island, Fiji. Once discovered, never forgotten. Fiji's one of my favorite places I've traveled to. Mauritius is still my favorite, but Fiji is incredible. I can't imagine even getting into that state of mind in such paradise. Can you imagine what it would have been like at home, too? Terrible. Turtle Island is $3,000 a night, says Heavenly Clouds. Oh, my word. Look at this place. Your private Fiji island. Oh, whoa. This is very, very... So what does he do? Like, how much money does this guy have? A lot, right? I think he felt... You might still feel invincible. Oh, no. Please, can I move there? It is literally my dream to live on an island. Like... I would go. I would go now. Yep. As long as there's Wi-Fi. That's all I ask, please. My goodness. Bula. That's how you say hello there. Bula, everybody. I'd be there all bula bula all day. Wow. Oh my gosh. No. This is too beautiful. Good. Heavenly Cloud says, I will move with you and your husband. Lol, lol. And Hannah and Fury, okay? These pictures, I know, Stefan, these pictures. And then he goes to this incredible island on honeymoon, marries in February. They go on honeymoon in, it was July, right? June, July. And murders her? Like, what is wrong with you, dude? I'm not saying it's about the island. Murder's wrong all around, but like, dude, on honeymoon. What? Sure, I can't even. It's very hard to wrap my mind around this one. This is terrible. Yes, me too. JT's. Sorry. Now I'm giggling beyond true crime. Okay, beyond true crime. Take a break from true crime for a second. Yeah, I'm certain I could find inner peace there. Me too. Robert Dawson. Okay, so I'm leaving my vigilante type story for last. What I want to look at now is this family here. Wait. Yeah, this one. Do you guys remember the story of Jill Sidebotham? You might remember it if you've been here for a bit. We covered it as a missing person Monday case. And let me just quickly recap you for a second. It was like mom and daughter. Ex-boyfriend arrives on the doorstep and says, pack your things. We're going camping. But this mom of this little girl was supposed to move in with her current boyfriend like in the upcoming days. So her whole family found it really strange. Like, oh no, like why did she go off with her ex-boyfriend? What is going on, right? Well, that case, it's very strange because I still worry about her safety. But they say missing Sanford family finally located. Here's what they told authorities who found them. Sanford, Maine. A local family that's been missing for more than 2 months has been found. According to authorities, they are safe, unharmed, and want to be left alone. See, that I still feel a little red flag. I just worry about her safety, but police say they're okay. At the involved parties' request, no information as to their location or motive for departing the Springvale area will be disclosed. The Sanford Police Department reported on its Facebook page Friday morning. So I'm sure they're monitoring the situation. I hope so. Jill Sidebotham, 28 of Springvale, and her ex-boyfriend, Nicholas Hansen, who, by the way, he had just lost his job and lost custody of all his other children. And his family members said he's a little bit unstable. So that's why it's like, we're not just red flagging it. It was really a huge red flag. Like, what is going on here, right? So I'm glad they've been found safely, but I'm still concerned. Do you feel concerned? So they say, Jill Sidebotham, 28 of Springvale, her ex-boyfriend Nicholas Hansen, and their 2-year-old daughter Lydia went missing earlier this summer. Sidebotham's parents, Ron and Cotty, said they last saw their daughter and granddaughter on June 28th. Sidebotham had told her mother that day that she and Lydia were going camping with Hansen and would be back by June 30th, so 2 days at the latest, as she had plans for celebrating the 4th of July locally with her fiancé, not even boyfriend, her fiancé. She's engaged with her fiance and her 10-year-old son. That's the other thing. She has a 10-year-old son. It's all coming back to me now. I'm like, oh, wait. But Sidebotham and her daughter never returned, touching off a search for them and Hansen that involved efforts by local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. Authorities conducted their search digitally, canvassed by both land and air, and sought information on social media. Okay, what happened now? The National Center for Missing and Endangered Children were also, were also involved. The family's whereabouts had not been known since July 2nd, when they were seen on videotape making purchases at a Walmart in Mexico, Maine. Video footage from June 29th showed Sidebotham, Hansen, and Lydia had indeed gone camping at the Coos Canyon campground in Byron. On Tuesday, September 6th, however, investigators were able to make contact with each party and communicate with them via phone and video chat, according to Sanford Police. The Sanford Police Department can report that each party is unharmed and safe, and no evidence of criminal behavior has been observed, Sanford Police said. Authorities who met with Sidebotham, Hansen, and Lydia also verified that they were safe, Sanford Police added. At the involved parties' request, no information as to their location or motive for departing the Springvale area will be disclosed, Sanford Police said. In early August, Sidebotham's father gave his opinion that his daughter's disappearance and lack of follow-up communication were out of character for her, especially given that she has a 10-year-old son back here in Sanford, Springvale. Ron Sidebotham said his daughter adored her son. It's just not in her heart to do this, Sidebotham said at the time. There are so many factors that shy away from her doing this voluntarily. Right? That's the thing, Stefan. A 2-day trip became a 2-month trip, and the fiancé and her child stayed at home. I don't think everything is good and safe. I don't think so either. I'm very worried, right? Was her 10-year-old son not with them? Does he have a different dad? I believe the 10-year-old son is the son of her fiancé, from what I'm understanding. So this is just so strange, right? Sorry, you guys, I just see you saying, Walmart. Yeah, gone for 2 months, and they haven't even come back. That's the thing. They haven't come back. They're just in an undisclosed location. What? So here's one more article, and then we're going to look at the last story, which is a bit of a vigilante story. After months of searching, missing Maine family found safe, police say. So we looked at this as a missing person Monday episode, like, whoa, there's some footage of them and everything, and what? They just found someone now? A 2-year-old girl and her parents are safe, police in Maine say, after months spent looking for them in an effort that included the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Lydia Hansen and her parents, Jill Sidebotham and Nicholas Hansen, were last heard from near Springvale, June 28th, when Sidebotham last contacted her family, saying she'd be going on a camping trip to rural western Maine and returning on June 30th. So the Sanford Police Department had been searching for them since July 2nd, along with state, federal, and other local law enforcement. There were sightings at Coos Canyon Campground in Byron, Maine, and a Walmart store in Mexico, Maine, and investigators called the case unusual. But then on Tuesday, detectives were able to speak with Lydia and her parents. So not Jill, okay? They said in a statement that each party is unharmed and safe and no evidence of criminal behavior has been observed. At their request, the statement didn't share where the family was or why they left, but police did say that local law enforcement met up with them and verified that they were safe. This is just crazy. I still worry about them. So if you're in the Maine area and you spot them and you're a true crimer, look carefully. Are they okay? I know the police is looking at it, but I'm like, damn, is she okay? To just abandon her fiance and 10-year-old son like that? I don't know about that. That's what I also wonder. Katie asked, are they still living in tents or did they get a house? Well, they won't tell us, right? And I mean, I don't know how they're living. I would assume camping because he'd lost his job and custody of all his other children. I'm just saying, like, he wasn't doing well. So where's the money, you know? Let's see what Fairy Raven says. Her ex, Nicholas, who she left with, said her fiance was in a DV situation with her and she wanted to escape. Damn. Imagine that. That will be a plot twist and a half. Whoa. Oh my word. That I did not know. Interesting. You guys are saying her fiance was apparently abusive. See, I don't know that, so I'm just reading comments now. That might make more sense. Especially if it's his son. If it's his son and not her son at all, then she would still miss him, but maybe she's like running for safety. It's just so weird that she wouldn't tell her parents at all, right? Or maybe she's just like, oh my word, maybe he was threatening her or something. I don't know. But the good news is that they have been found safe. That's great. I mean, you know, that's what we want, right? Okay. Now, hang in there for 1 second. I just want to play my little Be Right Back song. It only takes 1 minute. I'm just going to drink some water, to have a sip of this, take a deep breath, and we're going to look at one more case, which is a vigilante story, which I'm excited to show you. And that will be Case Club for today. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So look at this story now. The first, I'm just going to put a disclaimer that vigilante killings are not okay, not encouraging it. It's just, we see this type of story a lot, and we always see women put behind bars, or men, but mostly women in this situation put behind bars for life. So this one's got a little bit of a twist, right? So here they say, judge orders Iowa teen trafficking victim to pay $150,000 in restitution to the family of a essayist that she killed. Now, her story is very sad, especially why, she even ended up in the situation. But man, an Iowa teenage ST victim who stabbed her essayist. I'm so sorry for all these code words. I have to do it. It's YouTube. Otherwise, they just make sure that no one sees this ever. So bear with me. It's not like I want to talk like that. Who stabbed her essayist to death was sentenced by a judge on Tuesday to 5 years of closely supervised probation and must pay $150,000 restitution to her abuser's family. Pieper Lewis, 17, stabbed her abuser, 37-year-old Zachary Brooks, more than 30 times in June 2020. She was initially charged with first-degree murder. So we normally see that, right? Last year, Lewis pleaded to involuntary manslaughter and willful injury, both of which were punishable by up to 10 years in prison. However, Polk County District Judge David Porter deferred those prison sentences on Tuesday, meaning Lewis could serve 20 years if she violates her probation. Porter said he ordered Lewis to pay restitution to Brooks's family because the court was presented with no other option. He explained that the restitution is mandatory under Iowa law. Lewis, so here she is, and we're going to look at a clip of her statement in court. Okay. Okay. So, Lewis, who was 15 when she stabbed Brooks in a, man, I still wanted to see exactly how to say this. Is it Des Moines? Mr. Grizzly, he grew up French, so he'll be like, oh, my word. I just wanted to know how you guys say it. But okay, had run away from home to escape her abusive adoptive mother. She was sleeping in the halls of an apartment building when Christopher Brown, 28, took her in and began trafficking her to other men for sex, according to officials. That is just so sad. Right? Man, okay. So they say among those men was Brooks, who Lewis said essayed her multiple times before she killed him. She recalled being forced at knife point to go to his apartment for sex. After Brooks essayed her for what would end up being the last time, Lewis grabbed a knife off a bedside table and stabbed him. Neither police nor prosecutors dispute whether Lewis was trafficked and assaulted, but prosecutors allege that Brooks was not an immediate threat because he was asleep when he was stabbed. Iowa is not among the dozens of states with a safe harbor law that gives trafficking victims some level of criminal immunity. Lewis will be transported to a halfway house in Des Moines. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Des Moines? Is that how you guys say it? Des Moines. Okay. In Des Moines, and will wear a GPS tracking device to ensure she does not fall back into the lifestyle that you thus far left, Porter said. She'll also have to complete 200 hours of community service. Oh my word. So she has to pay $150,000, complete 200 hours of community service. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think about it. Des Moines. Des Moines. You guys. Des Moines. So Ink says, I'm sorry, she was 15. Him asleep might have been the only time she could find the courage. Exactly. Right? She said, my spirit has been burned, but still glows through the flames. That is amazing that she said that. She read from a prepared statement prior to her sentencing. Hear me roar, see me glow, and watch me grow. Wow. I'm a survivor, she continued, and we're going to watch her statement. Prosecutors took issue with Lewis labeling herself as a survivor, claiming she failed to take responsibility for Brooks's death and left his children without a father. What? How dare you call yourself a survivor of a sex trafficker who freaking essayed you all day long? I mean, like, hello, she is a survivor. What? The judge pressed Lewis to explain the poor choices she made that led to the stabbing and noted his concerns that she sometimes did not wish to follow rules in juvenile detention. The next 5 years of your life will be full of rules you disagree with, I'm sure of it, Porter said, later adding, this is the second chance that you've asked for. You don't get a third. Lewis said, I took a person's life. My intentions that day were not just to go out and take somebody's life. In my mind, I felt that I wasn't safe and I felt that I was in danger, which resulted in the acts. But it doesn't take away from the fact that a crime was committed. She said she regretted the stabbing, but to say there's one victim is absurd. Iowa does have an affirmative defense law that offers some leeway to victims of crime if the victim committed the violation under compulsion by another's threat of serious injury, provided that the defendant reasonably believed that such injury was imminent. However, prosecutors argued that Lewis waived that affirmative defense when she pleaded guilty to manslaughter and willful injury. Lewis earned her GED while in juvenile lockup and was unable to communicate with friends and family. Whoa. Let's see what you guys say, and then we'll watch her statement. I know, right? I'm surprised the judge didn't tell her she asked for it. So they're better off without him. Whew. So I'm not like encouraging murder. I just understand. She was like, put yourself in her shoes. Like, whoa. To me, it's total self-defense, you know? Like, what must she do? A teenager running away from an abusive home. Now she's on the streets, and now here come all these predators. I mean, it's really bad. Yeah, she's just being re-victimized. Yeah. Yeah, lady, roar. Thank you, Rando from Iowa. Des Moines. Okay, so I'm going to play her statement for you. I hope you can hear it nicely. In fact, what I'm going to do is just boost the sound a little bit. Okay.
Today, my voice will be heard. The story of Pieper Lewis holds power. The trauma of Pieper Lewis carries a ruptured beginning, tormented past, and a delayed future. With perseverance, we have the ability to change the direction of our delayed and unknown futures. Living with the knowledge of this has been a challenge. It can conquer thoughts, feelings, and spiritual practices. With the power of patience and forgiveness provided to me by others as well as myself, I prevailed. I am resilient. My story can change things. My story has changed me. The events that took place on that horrific day cannot be changed, as much as I wish they could. That day, a combination of complicated actions took place, resulting in the death of a person as well as stolen innocence of a child. Remorse forms itself in front of me As I grow and evolve as a young woman, I feel for the victim's family. I wish what happened never did, and I truly feel that way. The healing process is inevitable. I repeat, I wish the events that took place on June 1st, 2020 never occurred. But to say there's only one victim to this story is absurd. My future is unknown. The mental game of tug of war I compete with daily is painful. So today, September 1st, I have written this with an extreme wave of relief. 27 months of the waiting game will be over. My anxiety, as well as poor decision-making, played a role into me wanting to self-sabotage just a few weeks ago and make negative and impulsive decisions. Feeling my world on my shoulders, just wanting one answer, needing to hear it so I can continue to progress and evolve as a person. I felt stuck. I feel I have taken advantage of all things a child aged 15 through 17 can within the walls of Polk County Juvenile Detention Center. I've battled challenges with the strength of my own resilience. I wasn't alone no matter how many times I felt lost, detached, and isolated. I had an amazing therapist, Megan, to help guide me in finding my voice. She heard me.
I'm just going to pause it for a second. Please share the hashtag Pieper Lewis spelt this way all over social media. Let's show her tremendous love. I don't know if she's on social media or not, but Pieper, if you're watching this, you are welcome here anytime. The whole Grizzly community, we love Pieper, right? Man, this is hard. This is so sad. And I really hope, I don't even know what to hope. I hope she gets justice. I hope she's okay. I hope she never harms herself. I hope she knows that she is seen, heard, and loved.
Walking through the fire, a phoenix like me carries on its back as it rises from the ashes. This means I face rape, abuse, hatred, betrayal, manipulation, abandonment, loss of a parent, loneliness, and self-revelation. The list goes on and on. I wonder what else I will carry in that sack of beautiful pain. I often ask myself why I hurt. The answer is clear. Hurt people, whether it's intentional or not. My actions cause pain and hurt upon others. Others' actions cause pain and hurt upon me.
Shame. She's been through so much trauma and abuse. Oh no, she's like, my actions cause. I understand why she's saying it, but man, she needs so much love. There is a GoFundMe for Pieper Lewis, and GoFundMe for Pieper Lewis exceeds $150,000 she must pay. That's so nice. There is a GoFundMe that's being created, and it's raised more than $200,000. I will share it with you guys after this clip.
I am very young now that I realize it. I feel that I need to prove myself. I need to act grown. I need to be perfect with a mindset of consistent persistence. I know that I am being watched by a million eyes. Reality is I will make mistakes, even with the court's pressure, and the thought of one mistake I will make determine my entire future. I refuse to fail. I refuse to let the system fail me. Some days I feel like giving up, but yet again, I am the light at the end of the tunnel. I flicker brighter than the simple thought of my own future. I must prevail. I own the power to take accountability. The ones that hold me accountable deserve a reason, an explanation, not excuses which are often confused. In these steps to reasonable ownership, I felt I have taken the proper accountability. The unknown. I carry myself through the wind with sand and dust particles in my eyes. Why? Because of what I carry. I am not a stranger to the dark because I am the light. So why question my mind, the way I think, process, and react? If you were me, how perfect would you be in the sea of the unknown? I do not fear the thought of further incarceration. I fear not being able to accomplish some of my goals. I even graduated high school at age 17, a year ahead of my class. I'm going to be a fashion and graphic designer, open up my business titled Pie, create a place of comfort and acceptance for girls like me, become a juvenile justice advocate for youth in Iowa, be a counselor, start a family, and tell my story. No matter what the next chapter is, I will still rise. No matter what the judge's decision is today, I will still prevail. Nothing can stop a positive path of progress but negativity and doubt. During my journey, I have found part of the spiritual world and its beauty. I have progressed with the ability to lead with the power of many while maintaining self-worth. It has been difficult for me to communicate reasons why and how I have changed, in other words, been rehabilitated, which is a result of my actions growing up in detention. I have made decisions strictly for my own growth. I have made mistakes simply because of my own cognitive development. I am aware of what's right and wrong, but the constant fight of wanting to live in a life of a normal teenager inside of a detention center has been difficult. My legal team has walked with me with outstretched arms full of love and integrity. But the battle of opening up to all my team has been a journey. For a person to be honest and open, you must have trust built within the foundations of a healthy relationship. Once trust is scarce, opening up is more difficult to tell my story and then go back to detention life. That has been a struggle. Once you leave the visiting room, you leave with a part of me. I had no other choice but to find people to connect with in detention. Once I was released, I was conflicted with why I was treated like fragile glass or why I couldn't have friends. I was tempted to return to comfort. My life before called to me. I just wanted to be a normal teenager. I felt once again isolated and abandoned. It triggered my fight or flight, along with seeing my trafficker again. What people fail to realize is that I never got out of the life. I was taken out by my circumstances. Being placed in the same environment as I was as a victim of human trafficking triggered me. I couldn't even be around smoke without having flashbacks. I always question why I have such an articulate way of thinking or why I feel so disconnected. I can't really answer why. Losing my father taught me something. To stay connected to the ones you love, you must first stay connected within the soul. My spirit has been burned but still glows through the flames. My mind has been poked and degraded, but I still radiate intelligent, positive thinking. To question my worth, no matter what my next journey is, isn't an option. I am resilient. The apple falls far from the tree of its choosing. Other youth have told me I am different. I glow when I speak words of upliftment. That's my purpose, to lead with the power of many. Hear me roar, see me glow, and watch me grow. Like a flower, a rose petal in the wind, I fly away, I let go of my past, and drift beautifully into the future. I am a survivor.
Oh boy, that was tough, huh? So for those of you asked to show the bunny when I've finished it, showing the bunny. This is a trigger bunny. If you didn't know, if you're brand new to the channel, I didn't know that would be very triggering, but I suppose it's very sad. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is let's just find her Pieper Lewis GoFundMe. Here they say GoFundMe for Pieper Lewis exceeds $150,000. She must pay estate of the alleged essayist that she killed. A GoFundMe fundraiser is created to support Pieper Lewis has raised more than $200,000 from 5,000 donations as of noon Wednesday. Lewis, 17, pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and willful injury for stabbing to death Zachary Brooks, 37, who she says essayed her multiple times in 2020 when she was 15. During a sentencing hearing Tuesday, she received 5 years of probation and a deferred judgment, meaning her record could be expunged before completion of the sentence if she meets the conditions of her sentence. Leland Skipper, who taught freshman math to Lewis at Des Moines Lincoln High School, organized the fundraiser in part to help cover money she legally owes Brooks' estate. To Leland, Skipper, however you say it, wherever you're from, of course, in the Netherlands, we'd say Schipper. Wow, thank you for doing that. Why Iowa law requires Pieper Lewis to pay $150,000? An Iowa law enacted in 1997 requires people convicted of homicides to pay $150,000 in compensation. By mid-morning Wednesday, the fundraiser already had surpassed that amount. Wow, a homeless Des Moines teen who killed her alleged essayist faces 20 years in prison. She's a victim, too, her attorney says. As recently as last week, it had only about $4,000 in donations. After Porter ruled Lewis had to pay restitution, Skipper reworked and republicized the GoFundMe site to capitalize on national media attention on the case. As I watched some of the people coming in from outside of our state, I think that people are in shock that Iowa has this law the way we do regarding the $150,000, Skipper said. This is a clear example of where it's completely unjust. On Wednesday morning, the fundraiser was raising so much money that Skipper increased his goal to $200,000. As the fundraiser passed the $130,000 mark, Skipper felt overwhelmed by the support for Lewis. Pieper's case is so obvious to people why this law is flawed, but she's not unique in this law being problematically applied. It's beautiful and it's amazing. Will Pieper Lewis have to pay the money? Lewis's attorneys will discuss with her if they will appeal the order to pay the $150,000. Matthew Sheely argued to Porter that Brooks was more than 51% responsible for his own death, and therefore Lewis should not have to pay his estate anything. I know that is going to outrage a number of people. Sheely said of the decision, there are options, legal avenues that might be available to Pieper, which will be explored. Porter based his decision on a 2017 Iowa Supreme Court case that found a 15-year-old who pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and had to pay the $150,000 required by Iowa law, and that it is not unconstitutional when applied to juvenile homicide offenders. The court is cognizant that you and your supporters will be frustrated with the imposition of the $150,000 in restitution to Mr. Brooks' estate, Porter told Lewis Tuesday. This court is presented with no other option other than which is dictated by the law of the state. Wow. I'm just like, oh my gosh, the story. It's quite something, huh? Fundraising is an option being considered to help Lewis pay the sum, Sheely said, but her lawyers want to make sure that any funds she may take to pay Brooks' estate will not violate the law. I think the restitution obligation that she has to that she has to now deal with is probably the least of her concerns, Sheely after Lewis was sentenced. I'm pretty sure she's going to be focused on doing what she needs to do to take care of herself. Skipper had contact with Lewis and her legal team late last year. Over the past 2 days, he has been in contact with their lawyers regarding the fundraiser. If Lewis cannot use the money to pay off her restitution, she may be able to use it to pay for college or other expenses, Skipper said. They're excited about this as a path for Pieper to not have this debt, Skipper said. For now, the best way for people to help Lewis, if they do not already know her, maybe to give her space, but support sex trafficking victims like her, according to her attorneys. Help Pieper and girls like her by saying, we're not accepting trafficking, her attorney Paul White said after Lewis was sentenced. That's how we help Pieper. Don't let her story be forgotten. Skipper plans to meet with Lewis once she's placed at the Fresh Start Women's Center. One way or another, he thinks Lewis will put the money to good use by paying back the Brooks family, paying for her education, or donating it to a cause that can help young women like her. If for some reason this money can't go to a restitution, there will always be ways that it can be used to help sex trafficking victims, Skipper said. Oh, my word. Wow, this is just... Let's click on this one and have a look. Okay, so I'm going to make sure. Let's click share. Copy the link. I'm going to put this in the chat, and I'll make sure to pin it in the comments as well. Help Pieper Lewis, survivor of trafficking. Wow. $235,000 has been raised. So it's still going up as well. Thank you, Doodlebug. Lori, thanks, G, for bringing us this info. It's very upsetting, and I'm sorry if it triggered anyone, or if I hope you're okay. What an impressive statement. I agree. Undead, I agree with you. The GoFundMe donations demonstrate support of Pieper, the victim. So positive. Yes. She probably gets no rights to her story either. That's horrible. Whew, that was just... So I'll make sure that the Wagner summary and this GoFundMe as well is pinned in the comments right after this live stream. I'll do it. So if you see the live stream in and you go to the comment section, I'm going to be there too, putting this in there for you in case you do want to donate to anything. If you guys, I don't know, find a way to reach Pieper, I'll be looking as well. I would love to just show her that the community, this community, Grizzly community, cares about her so much. Even if she's watching this, just know, man, we've got your back. What she's been through is absolutely horrendous. I mean, I just don't know what they expect someone in this situation to do. I'm not saying murder. I'm saying in the whole situation, the whole snowball effect. Like, there's so many steps where someone could have really used a lot of help and love and care. A teenager, Thank you so much, Sue. Sue says, amazing reporting today, Gisela. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed today's Case Club episode. And go check out the Pike County Massacre episode that I did in case you just missed some of that or need a good overview. Well, I hope it was good. I did my best with the overview. But if you need an overview of it, I'll be monitoring the trial, as I say, and I'll be back soon with any other news. As you can see, like the Jill Sidebotham cases, all these cases we've covered, I do monitor them and I look out for updates. So also thank you to the Grizzly who send me emails with updates and things like that. All right. Thank you. Rochelle Pranzo says, so much covered here today. Fabulous, Gisela. Remember, guys, hit the thumbs up if you like the way I cover true crime. I know it feels weird sometimes to like a case. It's not you going like, yeah, I really like this. It's you like the way I cover true crime. Thank you for subscribing. Hit the share button. I'll see you guys. If you ever wonder where I'm at, because some people have emailed me like, oh, my word, where are you? Like, I'm literally on Patreon or YouTube membership or on social media. You'll see me active somewhere every single day. Okay, I've got Twitter, Instagram, 2 TikTok accounts, 2 YouTube channels, Patreon. You'll find me somewhere. That, mods, huh? You'll find me somewhere. Thank you so much, mods, for being here. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I will see you again soon. All right, stay safe and snarky and be mindful of those red flags.